Hi guys, and welcome back to Dice Town Gaming. I've got a new show for everyone called this the Warmachine Meta Monthly. I'm going to take a look at the events that have gone on in the previous month. So this month is going to be June. I'm going to pick some events from across the globe and take a look at the top three lists. What sort of lists are we seeing? What sort of command cards are they using? Are there any trends in the list? And just a sort of general look at the sort of global meta. I'm going to try and pick some events from different parts of the globe. I say quite a lot of the events at the moment are in America, looking from June. So I'm going to try and pick some big events. I'm going to try and spread them from, say, the UK, Europe, and America, so we get a bit of an idea of the global meta. And a bit of a precursor, I imagine this will be a bit of a longer show. It's going to be once a month doing this sort of content, but we're going to sort of dive deep into quite a few lists and on what they're bringing. And hopefully you stick around for it and you find this enjoying. I love looking at lists. I love looking at what other people are playing. So I'm actually really excited to do this. Before I get going, just massive thank you if you subscribed to me so far. If you're watching now and you sort of like what you like what you see by the end of the video, I would really be grateful if you subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the video, I'd be grateful if you like it. That positive feedback's all really nice. I'd love to hear in sort of the comments about your meta, what you thought about the list you've seen, how do they compare to what you see locally, and how do you think the meta might develop with sort of Old Ombre, Kithgard, and we don't know what's coming after that, but be interesting to see. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. I took a look at the list, events for June. Interestingly, there was 48 events across the globe for Warmachine in the month of June, which I think is really good going actually. There are a lot of events in America, and then some around Europe, and decent amount in the UK. I've picked out three events. I've picked out the Seas Invitational IG Qualifier. This is a big event from America, so in Tennessee in the US. I've picked out the Bordy and Brum team event. This is in the UK, and this was 8 teams, so 40 players. And lastly, I've picked out Jump the Shark, which is a 16-player event from Germany. There are some bigger events from America, which I haven't picked for the third event to look at, but I wanted to get somewhere from Europe as well as the UK and well as the US. With that in mind, let's take a look at the Sheets Invitational IG qualifier. So 45 players, a really, really healthy event, quite a big one really. I suppose as the title suggests, this is a qualifier for the Iron Gauntlet. Um, we've got we're going to take a look at the top three. Out of interest, out of the top 8 for this event, we've got 5 Cric players, 1 Kador, 1 old school Rule Guard Mark III Mercs, and in second place we have Dan with Orgoth. So Crics perform really well at the event. I believe if we do this, we can see sort of the distribution of the faction. So there was quite a healthy distribution of armies. To be fair, nothing massively skewed one way or the other. 7 Crics, 6 Brian Bloods, 5 Gravediggers, on the way down to 3 Kador. Interestingly, out of the 7 Crics, 5 are in the top 8, so good showing for the Crics. Let's get into the list. Travis Marr, congratulations on your 5-0, and I imagine qualifying 5 by the Iron Gauntlet. That's massive, and that's really cool. So we've got 2 lists. We've got Aviserus and we've got Sepsira. With Aviserus, we've got 4 Malefactors, so quite a cohort-heavy army. We've got 3 with Fell Action Spike Shields, and then 2 of them have got Dark Shroud, so you're -2 to your armor if you're in melee range of these Malefactors. And this one's got Overtake, so if it kills a model with melee attack, it can advance an inch. The last one has got Soul Claiming, so if this kills a living model, or I think the living model within 4 inches dies, you can provide a soul to the controller. And then we've got Aculon Temestra, which has Spell, Slaver, Arcane Assist, so lets Aviserus upkeep a spell for free within 5 inches. Spell Slaver allows you to cast a spell. If for free, that's not has to be level 3 focus or less and can't be an upkeep spell. I'm going to triple check. I think it has a couple more things going on. Psychic Assault has a spray and also has Tune Up, so you can immediately stand up a cohort model and it continues to expire and it gains Pathfinder. So great easy access to Pathfinder, which like Mortenebra has over Aviserus, and Aviserus doesn't have easy access to that, so it makes total sense. Then we've got Criterions, really fantastic resilient unit to put on an objective and hard to shift. 2 units of Necrosurgeons, these can empower your Warjacks, give them focus, or can return Criterions. 2 units of Sludge Frails. I really like Sludge Frails. I think their sprays are really good at clearing out things that are in the way if you wanting to deliver your malefactors. And once you push them up so far, your opponent has a real nightmare of removing them, because they're going to explode and do a power 12 and everything within 2 inches when it explodes. Lastly, the Furies, the fantastic, for utility, power of death, Stygian Abyss. I really like the Furies. I don't think they've ever got a bad place in a list. So I can understand why this went well. Decent threats that threat them really far between Abyss's feet and Red Line for the +4 speed on your heavies. You've got Sludge Frails to clear out sort of Chaff. You've got Furies offering fertility, and Criterions are really good for scoring objectives. Interestingly, cards, we've got Blessing of the Gods, Lucky Penny, Old Faithful, Put the Fires Out, and Sapper. Nothing crazy there. Interestingly, Travis taken Sapper, so maybe in sort of his meta, he sees a lot of defences. That'll be interesting to see if we see a lot of defences or not between lists. Second list, we've got Sepsira, and we've got 2 malefactors. Typically, Sepsira will run a cohort light list. Both these malefactors got soul claiming, harpoons, and ripping claws. So 2 drag threats, which I really like. I think I failed to mention the harpoon in the Sepsira list. So that's a really great way of sort of, I think having 1 drag in your list is always worth it, just to make your opponent play around it. Even if you don't get the drag, they're going to spend time on their clock making sure you're not dragging in what you want to drag. And in Sepsira, we've got 2 malefactors with harpoons, and the heads are soul claiming, so they're going to return soul to Sepsira. We've got Aculon, again, Spell Slave, Arcane Assist, a spray, or a tune-up. Iron Lich Commander, this can offer stealth to Sepsira by putting it base to base, and also Hex Blast, which is fantastic to have it in any list. We've got Xyphus, he's got Veteran Leader with Drudges. He can heal model D3+3, I believe. And a couple other things. Befuddle, that was the one I was thinking of. Befuddle is fantastic for moving a living, not living, you can advance any target 3 inches. So you can sort of walk something into threat range, walk something out of the way, walk something off an objective. I really, really like Befuddle. So it's a great tech there. Lieutenant, so this gives them Mechanofrow's Shield Guard. Necrosurgeons to return models to units or empower your malefactors. We've got, again, a couple of Sludge Frails, so again, clearing out Chaff, just being very efficient with their 10-inch sprays and removing stuff, being a pain when they die, and Furies for versatility. I quite like this list. It's using a lot of Sepsira's card. We've not just got 6 Mechanofrail units and supporting. We've got quite a lot going on. The Night Terrors pose a really solid assassination threat, and Sepsira does as well with her feet, but also does fantastic at trading up. 1 Mechanofrail unit with a Scything Touch, Carnage up, say Calamity, can remove a heavy very easily. So the list is going to do really well trading up, and you've got the threat of dragging things in as well. So this is posing a lot of problems in one list. I really like both lists. The Sepsira list got Careful, Recon, Duck and Cover, Hit and Run, Luck and Penny, and Put the Fires Out. Congrats, Travis, on your 5-0. I think 2 really solid lists, and also different lists. If you're planning to play Sepsira and all this infantry, or Viscerous with all the cohorts, you're probably going to have to bring 2 different things, and that makes your opponent think during list, not clicking, but when you're picking your list, and that's always really good. So congrats, Travis, on your 5-0. I assume this you're qualified for Iron Gauntlet now, so massive congratulations. Next up, we've got Dan with going 4-1 and placing second. He's got Horus and he's got Sabref, so understandable. I think these 2 are them sort of most competitive Orgoth casters. Horus has got a Jackal with an Arcnode, Mace and Clawed Fist, another Jackal with Arcnode, Mace and Claw Fist, a Jackal with Bloodthirst, Mace and Spike, Gargast, so 3 lights. Gargast probably going to put Inviolable Resolve on, so really hard to remove. Morgoth, the Charnel Plague, so really decent tech solo. Reaver Commander, and a fantastic tech in the Reaver Commander. Siege Taurus, so you can put Mortal Fear up and stack that with a Feat and Inviolable Resolve, make your army really hard to kill. Forge Master, fantastic tech piece. Nashers, so Weapon Master units, hit really hard. And Axes, really resilient. And Warwitch Coven for Dark Shroud and to empower your monstrosities. So I'd say a pretty standard Horus list. You've got the Taras to sort of double up on the hard to hit army. The Jackals trade really well, and also are quite hard to remove under the feet and Mortal Fear. You've got the Nashers that hit hard with the Weapon Master, and Axes are good at clearing out units. So really solid list. I can see why it did well. And the second list, we've got Sabref, and we've got 3 Jackals, a mix of Arc Nodes with Maces, and one with Berserk and a Mace and Spike. The other 2 have got Fists. And a Tyrant with a Flower Claw and Relentless Charge, so a bit of an aggressive Tyrant. Ravener, so with Weapon Master, we've got Monstrosity. We've got Carver, and then we've got Ellis, Guaranteed, Dark Traitor, Reaver Commander. Got lots of techie pieces here. We've got some Assault Reavers and Double Common and some Barrages. I imagine. Let me grab the fella's name. Dan has sort of put this list in place for a specific plan. I imagine he mainly played Horus and picked Sabreth into things that he specifically wrote his Sabreth list for. Congratulations on going the ongoing 4-1. That's a really good result. And yeah, I really like the Horus list. I think it's very standard but very powerful. And Sabreth sort of this very cohort heavy list with a lot of sort of tech support. I really like that. Congrats on your 4-1, Dan. And lastly but not least, for the Siege Invitational, we've got Joseph Gillespie, who went 4-1 with Cric again. He has got Mortenebra, and he's got, who else do we have? Mortenebra, and I can't see the name, Kaifos. So this is actually the pair that I would run if I was gonna run Cric. It would definitely be Kaifos and Mortenebra, so I can get behind this. He has got defenses, which is good to note. And then we've got Mortenebra with Malfactor. So 3 heavies and 2 lights. One with the head with a drag, which I can get behind drags. And then 2 overtake and full action spike shields. So Grievous Wounds, bit of armor for the shield, and overtake. We've got Shatterbane, we've got ancillary attack for the heavies or enliven, which is really, really good. Xiphus, which is is this guy, so he has got the heal and befuddle and psychic assault. But I think befuddle is the main thing here. Dragging things into threat or moving things out of the scenario zone is really good. Double Criterions, pretty standard. I think one thing that we can definitely say among Cric's list we're going to see is Criterions be really popular. Necrosurgeons to empower the Jacks, Night Terrors and Furies. So I think we're going to see a trend with Cric's list that Night Terrors, Criterions, and Necrosurgeons are all very popular. Card-wise, we've got Sapper, Old Faithful, Defenses, Blessing, and Lucky Penny. So this is the second list that had second sort of player so far. We've seen it's got Sapper. I'm going to quickly go back to the Orgoth list. I'm not sure if I took a look at their cards. We've got standard sort of cards with Sapper, and the second list hasn't got defenses, but again, an all-no Sapper and pretty standard cards. So I'd say Blessing, Careful Recon, Lucky Penny, they're very, very common across all the lists we've seen so far. Careful Recon, Lucky Penny, Blessing. So Blessing, Careful Recon, and Lucky Penny makes sense. I think they're universally good, and every list can make use of them. Back to Joseph's second list. So I'm terrible with names, so you have to bear with me. We've got Kaifos with a Malfactor, Light. So 2 heavies, 2 lights. We've got Souls to feed Kaifos Souls. And we've got Axes for Grievous Wounds and 1 shield, 1 claw. 2 lights with Arcnades, that makes sense. Dead Weight's a really powerful spell. We've got 1 Monstrosity in the Malfessor. We've got the Spell Slave Arcane Sister Cephalic Solo. Then we've got the Befuddle Cephalic Solo as well. We've got Scarlet Lieutenant. Probably give these guys Shield Guard. Again, couple Criterions, Furies, and Necrosurgeons. So both of these lists have Necrosurgeons, Furies, and not Mechanophiles. No, Criterions is the word I'm looking for. So I think, yeah, Criterions, Furies, Necrosurgeons, all going to be very popular against Crics. That's the top 3 for the Siege Invitational. Congrats on Travis and anyone else who placed well. Seems like a really cool event. 50 players is fantastic. Well, 45 players is fantastic. And congrats to the TO for running such a full event. Next up, we've got the Boarding Brum event. This was a team event. It's quite a heavy, sort of like weighted event. There was a lot of good players there. I think all the England sort of the TWCT teams turned up. Really sort of Shark Tank like event. For this one, I'm just going to go over the top team because that's 5 players. And their list. Otherwise, I think it would be a very long VOD going through the top 5, the top 3 teams, and that's 30 lists in total. So let's go through just over the winning team. Congrats to England Gentlemen on placing second, and congrats on England Team 3 for placing third. Seems like the England teams had a really good showing. Congrats, guys. Let's take a look at the top team. We're going to look at Christopher Clare's Gravediggers list. Now, I might need a bit of help from the Warmachine app here, because Gravediggers I'm not overly clued up on. Let's have a go. So card-wise, I know they have the extra cards. First up, we have Vargas. So this is the defense with +3 armor feet, I believe. So defensive +3 armor feet. Let's take a check at the list. The feet is +3 armor, blast distance and can't be knocked down. Okay, really good. We've got Plugger. Plugger, absolute killing machine. Really can play really aggro, sprint backwards, dual attack. Yeah, Plugger's really good. So we've got a Valiant with aggressive, which I believe is charged for free. It's hyper aggressive. You can move when you're hit. A sword and a volley shield. So duality in a decent range attack, as well as a decent melee attack. They're all charging for free. This Valiant is got a piston hammer rather than a sword, and a volley shield again. At my own interest, I'm just going to check what a volley shield does, because I don't know. Yeah, so it's a D3+1 range 8 with volley fire. So if you're shooting infantry, if you're shooting any warrior models, the attack rolls are boosted. So you're basically boosted to hit against all warrior models. Okay, so really efficient at shooting infantry, which is really good. Some gun mages, which can empower your valiants. Rangers, which are really good for their CRAs. And we've got the rowdies, which again can provide clouds. So a really heavy sort of cohort list, really. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 heavies, some support with your gun mages, and some tech with your rowdies and the rangers. Lieutenant Stella Baron, again, I don't know what that does. Let's take a look. Oh, she's got a battle plan for desperate plays. Oh, precision strike. Okay, precision strike. I think if you can get that in your army, absolutely amazing. Being able to move through your own army, charge through your own army, is very good. So I think any army that can take precision strike, get that in there. So first, we've got quite a heavy cohort list, and for cards, we've got 2 heavy airdrops. So Cric is going to be able to, I believe, drop in to Warjacks with the 2 light ones, and I think the heavy ones you can add an additional weapon to your valiants. Got Blessing of the Gods, Lucky Penny, Military Engineering, and Old Faithful. So heavy cohort list to begin with. And then the second list, we've got Captain Boom Boom. So this is the 80mm guy. So we can take a check what his feat does, because I can't recall Gravedigger stuff as of yet. +2 speed, reposition, and again cavalry. So if they charge, they're boosted to hit with their melee attack rolls. And Repo 5. That's pretty solid. So your army's going to be able to move quite a lot in that turn, and if you do charge, you're going to get boosted to hit rolls. I actually played against Chris's boom list, very good at assassinating you from range. Got lots of moving parts. Got Plugger and Valiant, so he's actually quite cohort light. I think the bucks a trend. Quite a lot of lists we see at the moment are sort of like a medium-based multi-wound infantry heavy or cohort heavy. This is like a cohort light single-wound infantry list. Got Captain Argo Brock and Captain Balstian Falk. So he's the sniper from the Hell Diggers, the Kane's cadre. We've got Stella Baron again for precision strike. Bruno, who's got the sort of light machine gun, I believe, volley fire, and pinning fire. And we've got commandos, so they can provide cloud walls. Gun mages to sort of offer support or do their shots. Rangers who can do CRAs with a sniper. Another rangers who can CRA. Black 13 from rowdies. So there's a ton of like threat vectors from this list. Once Boom Boom pops his feet and casts his dash, they all move really fast. They're all hyper accurate with their CRAs. Really, really tough list to play against. And I know Cric is piloting it to really good effect. So this one has defenses, as well as light airdrops, heavy airdrops, hit and run Lucky Penny, Blessing of the Gods, really common. This is a nightmare to play, and Vargas I think sounds equally difficult. We've got Jacob Graham with Brian Bloods. So we've got first of all we've got Ragemonger, who's got a Diatrol. So this is going to be armor 23 in melee because of unyielding. Great old one, really good against shooting with Carapace, and armor 22 in melee with Ragemonger. Beauty Boss, Fire Guardian, Greg or Boom Howler, Madame, so should support, Arcane Assist, Spell Slave. This offers force barrier to a unit, or also offers a really good sort of like output late in the game. And you've got 3 MCs with Quartermaster, which makes sense for the feat. Pig Boarding Party and Spirit Shaman. So quite a typical, like old school Ragemonger list really, with lots of Quartermasters. And card-wise, very standard with Sapper in it. Next up, we've got Shadow Tongue. Okay, it's a Raise Monger Shadow Tongue. I think this is what people consider the meta Trollblood pairing. We've got Shum, a Deepborn Dire Troll with a Crabnet, Hammerhead, Minnow, and Cantankerous. It's quite interesting. So we've got the knockdown shot on the gun, and we've got the no armor Finn. We've got the sort of threshold 5 free charge. A second one who's got Bellower, so he's one extra rat and offers a Swift Hunter Animus, and another Crabnet. Really interesting to see the double Hammerhead Crabnet. I have to ask Jacob about this because I really find that interesting. A Reef Troll that's got the gun and the axe. That makes sense. The gunner head is a +1 rat head, and our tank are opposite snipe. A Vroga for drag. Madame offers the spell slave support and puppet master. Morgaborza's got enliven and ancillary attack. Dirges are great for mark target, and Shadow Tongue can arc node through these. One Marauder Crew of Tapper, one Boarding Party, and one Shockers. Really love to see the Shockers there. This explains the Crabnet. So the Crabnet can knock an opponent's Jack down, and the Shockers can disrupt it, so then it can't stand up. So that makes total sense. I really love that. And Sapper in this list as well. So no defenses from Jacob, but double Sapper. I really like these lists. I think it's some great little tech with the knockdown with the Shockers. And Raisemonger, sort of very typical, lots of Quartermaster, hoping during the feat turn you're going to lift a lot off using the mini feats from the Marauder Crew. Next up, Matt Gallagher with Storm Legion. Probably Huxley and Cowder here. Yep. Got defenses for Huxley. And then we've got, unsurprisingly, a bunch of lights, bunch of heavies with the General, and a few supporting models. Black 13th, because why wouldn't you? And Legionnaires as just a unit to sort of put somewhere and be bodies. Yeah, very typical sort of Huxley list, I would say. I'm just going to take a look at what the heavy Stormthrowers do, because I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know what the Stormthrowers do without looking at them. I don't typically play against a lot of Storm Legion. I know Huxley is sort of one of the models to know about, but I don't get to play a lot of them locally. I can triple check that they were the coursers. And the heavy Stormthrower is so spray 12. So I suppose with full throttle you're getting fully boosted spray, so very good at clearing out any infantry. And then you've got the Voltaic Punching Spike for the other arm. And let's have a look at what that does. So that's got crit arm and piercing melee attack. Okay, so these guys can trade really well up. The full throttle gives you boosted to hit. So I'm going to triple check that myself before I look like a fool. Boosted melee attack rolls, great. So okay, so good to note, when I said they were boosted sprays, it's incorrect. It's only boosted melee attack rolls. But those sort of crit armor piercing little fists are going to get boosted melee attack rolls. So good for fetching those crits. And the striker's got the solid ranged weapon in the cannon, and then the halberd and the javelin here. So decent melee attacks. One's relentless charge of Pathfinder. One has got true sight, so ignores cloud, etc. So actually 3 strikers in the general. So wow, really heavy. So 7 cohort models here. I totally get behind that. Huxley provides a crazy support with Iron Horse, so +2 speed and repo. Or if you go ground mode, you're steady and sturdy. So pretty typical Huxley list. Matt's an excellent player. He's been playing for ages, so I imagine he's piloting that to great effect. And then we've got Cowder with a striker with relentless charge, halberd and shield, so a bit resilient. The General, again, makes sense. Kruger, fantastic model. Very good at operating by itself. Very good at clearing out any sort of infantry. Quite hard to kill as well. 2 Legionnaire officers. Completely makes sense. Probably the best solo in the game. 3 amazing battle plans. 2 units of Legionnaires. The Cavalry, again, makes sense. Very fast with Cowder. Good at keeping them alive with the feet. And deflection. Electrify for Repulsor. Makes sense. Stormveins are arc nodes, which is always really... I'm going to fact check myself before I carry on with that point. Bear with me. Stormveins are not arc nodes. I take that back. Great. They can be arc nodes. Okay, fact checked. We're all good. So arc nodes to sort of put out Electrify as the game goes on, or Arcane Shield. Legionnaires, I believe these are the ones that have Jack Hunter. Yep, so very, very efficient at removing Jacks. Tempest Assailers, a very good target for sort of Arcane Shield. very hard to remove, and Black 13th, because why wouldn't you? So I'd say, yeah, we're looking at, in my opinion, the best pairing in the game with Huxley and Caldor, piloted by an excellent player and really well written lists. No sapper or defences in this last one, and I think got a few single win infantry in the Legionnaires here. But again, cohort heavy or multiple wound infantry is again something that I think that is a good thing to note. Next up, we got I don't want to ruin this fella's name, Zilvinas, and Zilvinas has brought Infernals. So I don't have any knowledge on Infernals. We're going to go through the names. I'm not going to try and learn what all the Infernals things do live. You make you watch that. So we've got Omadamas, Blackgate, Guardian of Souls, which I assume is some sort of battle engine or colossal at the points. Tormentors, which I think are some sort of heavy sort of they're called horrors. Then we've got a bunch of solos and a couple of units, I believe. I'm not going to try and pretend I know what's going on here or try and bore you and watch me go through the Warmachine app and pick all of these out. I don't know anything about Omadamas. We have got defences, but I do know that Zaltarath, I think this is the plus defence feat, and they play a really good sort of defensive skew game. We've got Harvester of Souls again. We've got Magnus with Invictus, and a bunch of Howlers, which I think are a couple of units, and then a bunch of techie solos. From what I understand from speaking to Chris, Zilv is like one of the best players in the world. He knows Infernals incredibly well, and he really pilots his army to crazy effectiveness. I'm going to have to learn myself a bit more about Infernals for the next show, so I can inform you guys that are watching a bit more about it. But I don't have too much to say about Infernals, I'm afraid. Next up, we've got Jamie Perkins with Shadow Flame Shard. We've got Kyrax, and we've got Cyrus. So Kyrax, we've got ahead Vipex with Hunter's Mark, so we're going to be able to extend our threat by 2 inches. A second Vipex with Bladed Gale and Impalers. I'm going to quickly do a live check on what Bladed Gale offers you, because I don't know. And if I can keep talking until I find a Vipex, that would cut any empty air. I've managed to make it. Okay, and you can strip flight from a model. Good to know. And then we've got a Wyvern, so very hard hitting model that threats very far, threats even further with Alpha Hunter. We've got Belial, which is not the right name because that's something from Diablo. Beligal, so this can give a War Beast +2 to its damage roll, so it makes the Wyvern hit even harder. Paragon, so this, if you're within 3 of the Paragon, you get -3 range to your guns, so protects you getting into it. 2 Incarnate Knights, incredibly resilient, incredibly hard to shift. 1 Death Dealer unit and 2 Lasher units. So these work really well with Kyrax's feat on making multiple attacks using the 2-inch move to sort of just chew through infantry and trade up. And Shadow Monsters are sort of the utility sort of beast support of the army. Card wise, we've got Sapper, so maybe was expecting defences. No defences himself. Blessing, Lucky Penny, Hit and Run, put the fires out. So standard cards. Next we've got Cyrus. We've got a Trike, classic Trike. Got Negation Tail, so we're going to be able to sort of nullify any spells that we're going to try and cast on it. Eyeless Sight, which is very good. Got a Vipex with Bladed Gale, and a Vipex with Hunter's Mark again. Beligal for the +2 damage rolls. Pythia, which I think has got Spell Slave. I'm going to fact check myself. Arcane Assist, so upkeep a spell for 3 or if you're in 5. She's got an auto-hitting Dispel Spear. I know about that one because that caught me out. That's really useful to have. So you've got like a 12-inch threat of just auto-hitting, dispelling a key upkeep spell. Really, really good. A Spinner, a Paragon. So again, it reduces the range of shooting if you're near the Paragon. Shades, really, really good at getting into opponents' lines. Fortune Hunter and Ricochet means you can hit something and get a character that's close to that model. A couple units of Lashers again. They're in Kyrax. I'm just going to triple check that the Lashers, I think these are the 3-inch melee guys with crit, KD and drag. With gang, just really, really flexible. Very easy to trigger gang when you've got 3-inch melee. A mat 8, power 12. So very good at clearing infantry. And the 3-inch drag can be a nasty way of getting something in melee that wasn't in melee. If your opponent sort of isn't aware that they could sort of drag you with the Lashers. And we've got a unit Shadow Monsters again. So we've got the sort of beast support of the faction. I love all of these lists. I think, this is an incredible team of players. I'm not surprised me that they've won the event. Not a bad player on there. Probably the best players in the UK, and with incredible lists. So congrats, guys, but also congrats to all the WTC teams. I think England are in a really good place for the WTC this year. I think we've got 15 incredible players, and I hope they go smash it. And I hope you all enjoy the weekend, because it's an incredible weekend of social sort of experience, and being there for that one sole reason, and seeing all your buddies you don't see for the rest of the year. So congrats, guys, and congrats to England Team 1 for winning the big event. Last but not least, we've got Eisenhammer. This is a 16-player event from Germany, Dusseldorf. I wanted to again pick some events that are around the globe. So there was a few other big events in America, and there was one big team event in America that I didn't choose to cover this month. That was because I wanted to get somewhere from Europe, UK, and America if I could. With that in mind, let's take a look at Eisenhammer. We've got top 3 are Cric, Storm Legion, and House Callis, which is cool. Kador snuck into the top 8 quite well with 7, 6, and 5th. In terms of sort of how armies were represented, again, a pretty decent spread. Quite a few Kador, House Callis, and the rest sort of 2 or 1. This is a 16-player event. Let's take a look at the list. So Zeus, my list is on point today, so I'm just going to call him Zeus. Hopefully that pronounced correct. We've got Cric again, we've got Kaiphos, and we've got Mortenebra. So again, if I was going to play Cric and I was going to try and put out the most comp pairing I could play, I would probably play Mortenebra and Kaiphos. But that said, Travis went 5-0 with Sepsira and Aviserys, so obviously there's some versatility in the Cric faction. So we've got Grendel with the character Warjack that can kill a warrior model and then back off. 2 Raptors, one's got an Arc Node and one's got a Necro Vent, so when this dies it will explode, and everyone within 2 I think takes a power 12. Aculon, so we've got the Spell Assist, Spell Slave Solo, who's an Arc Node, and Xiphos again with the Befuddle Healer model, also an Arc Node. Scarlet Lieutenant, so we're praising Mechanifraus, and unsurprisingly we do. So we're going to offer these Mechanifraus Shield Guard. 2 Criterions, again, doesn't surprise me, and 2 Sludgefraus. So I think Sludgefraus, Criterions, they're something we've seen across all the Cric lists so far. And Necrosurgeons again. So yeah, Necrosurgeons, Sludgefraus, Criterions, very popular in Crics at the moment. So the Kaiphos sort of can play a lot of ways. I think I quite like him with Night Terrors. I think he poses a good assassination threat. But this is gonna lots of living models. So the Criterions are gonna get non-incorporeal models. So the majority of the army, in fact, the whole army is gonna get the feat. The Mechanifraus are incredibly efficient at trading up. Scythe and Touch, Calamity, Carnage makes them very accurate. And then the Sludgefraus again for removing infantry. So this is I think. Kaiphos is an incredible caster, and I think we've got all of the typical Cric things in here. So really strong list. We've got Mortenebra with Grendel, Malfactor. So we've got 4 heavies, 3 lights. We've got Overtake Ferlac, so Overtake Grievous Wounds, Soul for Kaiphos with a drag, and then Soul for Drag with a drag. So double drag, and then 2 sort of melee heavies. Again, I love drags. Your opponent's got to play around them, and what they eat into their clock. 3 Raptors, all with the Necro Vents, so they will explode when they are removed. Mortenebra can obviously feat 1 Warjack back, probably looking at one of the heavies, not a light. We've got Iron Lich Commander, fantastic utility in Hex Blast. Shatterbane, Enliven, and Auxiliary Attack. Xiphos, you're going to be offering, I can never remember if this is the Befuddle one or not. Arc Node, you know what, guys? Let's just check, and maybe one day we will remember the difference between Aculon and Xiphos. Xiphos is the fella with Befuddle. Great. So Befuddle, Psychic Assault and Heal. In my mind, probably in here for Befuddle. If you're playing against a living army, extend your threat by a pseudo 3 inches. A couple of Necrosurgeons and a couple of Sludgefraus. Card-wise, no Defences or Sapper, but typically Blessing, Old Penny, Lucky Penny, Careful Recon, and then sort of flavour cards. 2 just really, really solid lists. I think Mortenebra cracks armor like no one does in the game right now between Synergy, Scythe and Touch, Calamity. There's an incredible power swing. Threatens very far with mobility. And then you've got Kaiphos, who presents an army that's quite hard to trade into with the feat, so you're -3 to hit. and also always poses a decent assassination threat and decent control with the spell Deadweight. So I totally understand why these lists are well, and congratulations Zeus for winning the event and going 4-0. Next up, we've got Storm Legion, and we've got Athena to Barrow, which I love to see, and we've got Huxley. I don't want to say I like to see Huxley less, but I love to see Athena. We've got a Corso Shield Guard, the Stormthrower, which is the spray, and a Spike for the crit armor piercing. Got a Corsa with dodge, a spear, and a shield, so a bit more of a tanky guy. Got the Maelstrom with the 2 bombards, a hammer, and a fist. And we've got Carver with his Warboar, Kruger, fantastic solo, arcane mechanics to support the lights and the heavy, well, the very heavy, the Maelstrom, Stormthrower Legionnaires, Standard Bearer, and Black 13th. So quite a cohort heavy model. A couple of single wing infantry unit here, but not many. Athena supports Mercs quite well because her feat is just friendly model, not friendly faction. So the Warboar and Kruger are going to make use of Athena's feat. Maelstrom's incredibly hard to kill. So really solid list. And then we've got Huxley, unsurprisingly, with 2 lights this time, 4 heavies, a bunch of Jack support, a unit to stand on an objective, and a Black 13th. So I think Huxley's list we're going to see are very similar. You're going to have a bunch of heavies, some support, a bunch of like Warjacks, some support for the Warjacks, and probably a unit and a Black 13th. Very typical. We've got Sapper in this list, but no defences. And we're not seeing much single win infantry, outside the support again. And then lastly, but not least, we've got Pom Fritz. Forward apologies for this show when I announced the European names. Between my lisp and my lack of being able to speak properly in general, names aren't my strong point. So first up, we've got Helif, which I love to see because locally I don't see a lot of Helif. And we've got Tyrus, which I love to see because Tyrus is great. Interestingly here, we're seeing, it look like, off the bat, it looks like quite an infantry-heavy list. We've got Israfil. Israfil's great. He's got Entropic Force, so no tough or healing within 5. Really, really good. Skybomber. So I believe this is the Merc model that sort of got changed in the January update, which I sort of never played before the January update, but from what I understand, was very popular and very nasty before it got its update. Yeah, it is. So it's a Merc sort of battle engine. Diasis, the Eye of Darkness. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know what Diasis does. Let's take a look together what Diasis does. He's got Grip of Shadows. Telemetry is very good. Kiss of Lilith, so +2 to... Is it attack? Make some damage rolls. Potentially +2 against one model and spell slave. So a really nice bit of tech there, and you can up your damage or you can cast a spell. And you've got Mage Hunter Commander. So I believe these are the solos which got the really, really decent battle plans. Special orders, fight to the last. So you can get tough, or you can have a repo. So really, really great tech in the battle plans. Some sniper team very good at pinging off sort of shaffing away. Valis, Hand of Mourning. Okay, I don't know what Valis, Hand of Mourning does. Let's have a look. With Restoration, you can return Grim Returns. Yes, and you've got Spirit Vessel. Okay, so yeah, a really, really nice tech model in Valis. A Void Shaper, some Archers, so these are the medium-based ones that have AoE. Draguard Cavalry are always fantastic. Battle Lust on these guys is always a nightmare to handle. Got the Seeker Adept, which is your sort of support for your Warjack. Soulless Guardians, like an infantry unit. They are single win infantry. An attachment for them, and some Soulless Hunters, which again are single win infantry. So I really like this list. It's got a bit of everything. Helif does a really good job of sort of supporting the army via the feat, the +2 def and +2 arm, and then -2 def, -2 arm. I imagine he's got lots of reps to this list. There's a lot going on in terms of lots of threats, lots of different things. And I managed to take some practice. I'd say buck to trend. There's quite a couple of single win infantry, and it's quite infantry heavy. And it's not necessarily. And these are single win infantry with the Mage Hunter Sniper team as well. So I think House Callis sort of do tend to buck the trend in terms of they play a bit more infantry than most other lists, and some of it can be single wound. Sapper, and then sort of standard cards. I'd say that Blessing, Hit and Run, and Lucky Penny, and Careful Recon are probably the cards we've seen most so far, which makes sense. I think they're universally good in every army. Next, we've got Tyrus, so the feat is going to be the +2, the 2-inch place and Ghostly for one turn. Garsh with an Arc Node. and some sort of fists. We've got Carver, so sort of very efficient model that you don't have to allocate any focus to. Interestingly, it's a very small cohort, so maybe they're playing Tyrus really aggressively and trying to spend a lot of Tyrus's focus on himself. We've got Dices, a fantastic utility. Two commanders, the sniper team, Valius, a Void Engine, Dreadguard Cavalry. So this is actually quite a similar list to what we've got up here. You've got both cavalry, both single wheel infantry units, a Seeker Warden, similar solos, but a different sort of cohort setup. And this has got the Big Pig as well. Card wise, Blessing of the Gods, Hit and Run, Luck and Penny. We've got Duck and Cover in here rather than Careful Reconnaissance, and we've got Sapper. So really interesting list. Again, loads of things going on. Lots of different little threats with the solos. Lots of units and the Warp and the Big Pig to be efficient and not have to have anything from Tyrus. I'd love to see if he's playing Tyrus really aggressively and trying to get the focus out of Flashing Blade and sort of playing really aggro. Congratulations on going 3-1 Pomfrits. Congratulations Zeus on winning the Eisenhammer again. And congratulations to Tio for running a 16-player sold-out event. That's the 3 events I'm going to cover today. If you've made it to this far in the video, I'm massively grateful. But I would love any feedback in terms of what I could have done better. What do you think we could do to like advance this show? Did you like the format? Are you interested in sort of what events going on globally every month, etc.? Thank you so much for watching, and if you've made it this far, I'm truly grateful. And I'll see you in the next one very soon.